Welcome to Money Mindset series. This week we are having our guest as Ivan. Ivan, why don't you share with us a little bit about yourself?
Hello, hi everyone. Hi, my name is Ivan Loh. I am one of the co-founder for Ultimate Investing. So what I do is that I do private coaching and I specialize in doing technical analysis and charting. So this is basically what I do is I teach people how to do that online because I'm actually residing in Melbourne. So most of my trainings are being done online. Yeah, that's about myself.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us today. And well, Melbourne is a very nice place for retirement and stuff like that. So we'll talk a little bit about that later. So first off, the question that I always start with is, because this is Money Mindset series, so I always start with the question on what does money mean to you?
Very good question. Money means to me it's actually money is just a tool. So it's a tool that can help me to open up to various opportunities and as well as possibilities. So to me, if you can use the money properly and you can use it wisely, it really helps you a lot in your ways, in many ways of your life. So that is the way money means to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Maybe would you be able to give us a little bit of examples in your life of using money wisely and responsibly? Because you know the words mean different things to different people. I could be very responsible when I buy a $3,000 Chanel bag. So responsible to me lah. So yeah.
Okay. So I think that's a very good point to point out. So generally, I feel that depends on personal personal ways of spending money and personal ways of looking at money. So to me, being responsible for money is that I use my money to invest. Yeah. So to travel, basically to help me. Basically, the money that I use is to help me in terms of my well-being as well as to so-called help me get more financial gains and as well as cash flow in the future. Yeah.
Oh, so there is a direction, there is sort of a type of planning for where your funds go?
Yes, absolutely. So to me, because it's a tool, so you need to know how to make use of this tool to get the life that you want, actually.
That's very true. How far, I'm just curious, how far do you plan ahead for your finances?
That's another good question. So I believe is that in the future, we won't know really exactly what's going to happen in the future. And the past, you can't change much. So what I can do is that usually I plan my finances ahead about 3 to 5 years. So the thing is, some people will say that why it doesn't seem like a long time. But to me, 3 to 5 years is something that I can foresee roughly. I have a better gauge rather than say I plan for 10 years or even 20 years down the road, which nobody knows what's going to happen. Yeah.
So that timing is sort of your own gauge and something that you're comfortable with, I guess?
Yes, definitely. Something that I can manage and sort of have a little bit more control as compared to 10, 20 years down the road.
Good. Okay, it's very interesting to hear different people's perspectives on money. So you mentioned that money is a tool for you, and what's your belief about what money can do? I know you mentioned experiences, building up towards a cash flow. Anything else that you'd like to share with us?
I think I would like to say something about money is that although it's a means and tools, I'd rather have money than no money. Yeah, so I mean, it's true, especially in this current life now era, if you don't have money, it's really going to be quite tough and challenging. So I'd rather have more money than no money. This is one of the things, believe that I have it very strongly in myself. Yeah.
And that's also something that I feel, I mean, even for myself, is always an option towards the positive side. I mean, if you ask everybody, right, obviously everybody will prefer to have more money as opposed to less money. So what are some of the ways that you can share with us that how do you execute that objective that you have?
Wow. Okay. So that's a good question also. So basically how I manage my money, towards that direction, that having more money. is that there's basically three ways. One is that you must know how to save your money. Yeah. So to me, a lot of people say that you don't have to save, or maybe you just save a little bit. But to me, saving is still important. No matter what, you need to have some reserve funds. Number two is that you have to invest your money. So this is where my strength is. So I invest most of my money, basically in stocks, in some properties. I used to invest in a lot more properties, but now I've cut down a lot. So I invest a lot more in stocks, and as well as doing some options, and yeah. And then the third thing is that, like I said, invest in properties. So one of the good ways is to invest in properties, but just take note that for me, I actually reduce my property portfolio because I would like to basically more consolidate my funds now with this kind of market condition. So just have to be a little bit more careful. So that's how I manage.
Yeah, that sounds like you have a different objective for different stage of life or different, type of market conditions, I guess.
Yes, in a way. It sounds like sounds like very old. Yeah, so definitely during my younger days, I actually, a little bit more aggressive. I will just trade very heavily. I will buy in big bulk of stocks, and then even you lose 5 figures. Although it's very sad, but you can still fight back. But at this age where now I have family, my children are growing up as well, and if you want to do that kind of aggressive move, then things are a little bit more difficult because you need to protect your wealth. So now, actually at my current stage, I'm very much on protecting wealth, but still needing it to grow, not just stagnant. Yeah. So this is what my direction is now.
Very good. So given that you are now at this, okay, not that you're very old, but given that we're actually the same age for those who are watching this. So given that you're now at this stage of life, and I'm sure along your journey in your career, and all the different, along the years, what are some of the money habits that you have found to be working for you that you can share with us?
Money habits. Actually, to me, right, I've been a broker. Just for your information, I used to be a stockbroker for more than 12 years since right after I graduated. So from then on, my money habits is always invest. Like people go for property, it's location. For me, it's invest. Yeah, this is the only way. For me, in my opinion, is the only way to really grow your money at a comfortable pace, as well as something that is manageable. But when I talk about invest, basically means you must have the right knowledge and the right skill to invest, and not just put your money with someone else and hoping that that person make you rich, which is usually not the case. The only way for myself to really get rich is that I need to invest. That's what I've been doing for the past 20 years. So and along the way, just learn, make quite a bit of mistakes. And also, of course, there are some glory days, and then also, so along the way, you get to experience a lot. So this is where I am today.
Yeah, good. So you mentioned that you have some, along the way, you have learned you've made some mistakes and learned from them. Are there some money lessons that you have experienced and you're open to share with us?
Yes, absolutely. So do you want to know about stocks or you want to know about property? So I'll share both.
Whatever that has probably the biggest impact on you, probably. So it's more of the lessons itself that you have experienced and you have learned that you can, your takeaways.
Yep. Although I've been investing for so many years, I do still make mistakes. So one of them is investing into a property sharing group. I think that's probably a couple of years back. And what happened was, my mistake is it's really a silly mistake, and I did not really check in detail of the property company. So I just follow one of this guru who says that, hey, this is a good buy. So I just followed her to buy it, and then after that, that company went bust. So this is one good lesson learned, because firstly, I did not check carefully. Secondly, I have to take responsibility, because I I just listened to that person and then I went to buy that property. This is definitely, I would say, I should not be blaming her. More of I have to take responsibility for not doing my homework. Yeah. So that's my foolishness, or even though after I've been investing for so many years, so sometimes I still do make some mistakes like this, but you get to learn from it. My lesson from this experience is be aware, all right, do your homework and not be greedy. Yeah, because I mean they promise like certain returns, it's like, oh, you're gonna get this certain return. So I think this is very natural human behavior. So these are the 3 lessons that I learned from this experience.
Yeah, okay. So based on because you mentioned return, I'm curious, what was the return that they promised? And there's this phrase that says, if it's too good to be true, it usually is. So how much of a return do you feel is too good to be true, based on your experience?
Yeah, I think this is a very tricky question because it's very much dependent on the person's preference,
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what they have promised, the number of returns, but I know is based on property wise, it's generally much higher than whatever that's offered in the market. Yeah. So, but in terms of my personal so-called percentage that they promise too good, which is too good to be true, it could be like, well, they promise to make 1,000% in one day.
Wow.
Which is this is not related to properties, could be some of the scams or the stocks.
Oh, okay. I see.
Happening outside. So to me, sometimes when this kind of very unrealistic declaration, I think better to stay away from them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. If someone promises 1,000% return a day, I guess I will definitely spend a lot more time looking into their background and take it with a pinch of salt. Not that it's not possible, or not that it's no good, but yeah, I think we should probably cut out. Yeah.
In fact, I won't even spend some time to look at it because 1,000% is unrealistic. If you talk about 100 to 200%, although it may sound a little bit unrealistic, but it could possibly work as well. So that one may valid your time to go and look a little bit deeper into it.
Yeah, that's true. If it's 100%, I feel that it's still feasible according to my experience, my capability, and my understanding of the market. I feel that it depends on which market it is. Property is very different from stocks and from options and stuff like that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So good. Okay, so we're going to shift gear a little bit to look at retirement, simply because when it comes to money, money is very often linked with retirement, and retirement is also something that everybody looks toward to, especially people who are employees who may be viewing this. Retirement is something that they want to, they want to stop working, they want to have a free lifestyle, stuff like that. So to you specifically, what does retirement mean to you?
Interesting. Actually, to me, I don't really plan for retirement because, like I said before, to me, it's like 10 years down the road, I'm not too sure whether I'm still around, or 20 years down the road, I'm still around. So what I'll do is that, but in my mind, I have a certain way of looking at retirement. That to me, retirement is more like spending time with some quiet time with my loved ones, and I like to spend my time in the nature, as well as also to nurture my mind, and also to do a lot more personal well-being. So to me, retirement is more of this form rather than having a lot of money. Like I say, have $1 million or $2 million, then I can do whatever I want. To me, I'm not looking at that. Possibly because I've been investing throughout my life. So along the way, I already started to grow some of my funds and started getting some cash flow. Yeah. So I think everyone should do that. Yeah. So that you don't have to wait until the last minute. then you try to scramble with the money to have the kind of retirement life that you want. So for me, I I do set aside money for retirement, which I do have to plan for it, because all of us, when we are old, there is definitely some forms of medical needs that we have to pay for. So I think that one I do set aside, because I don't want to depend on my children. I want to be independent, so don't want to put any strains on them as well. So you can see that my retirement has two parts. One is having sufficient funds to look after my medical fees. The other one is to actually nurture my mind and also for personal well-being.
So from that,
Yeah.
I guess your it seems that your retirement is a way of life as opposed to, you know, the number of money you have in the bank. So and I also know that you're based in Melbourne right now. You've moved to Melbourne and living a different lifestyle from back when you were in Singapore. Do you consider this your retirement, as in now, your current stage?
At my current stage now, it's definitely not a retirement yet, but the lifestyle is it's moving towards there. So perhaps you can say that I'm sort of like living kind of like my retirement life. But yeah, but of course I'm still trying to I'm still in a way still young, so I have to take care of my children, all the stuff. But this is a lifestyle that I do enjoy. Taking a bit slow, having the time to be in the nature. Yeah, so to me, this is what I like doing.
That's amazing. That's an amazing lifestyle that you have. Yeah. So thank you. So we're going to end up with the last question, which I always ask. So you know, we want to end up with this last question, which is, what is the best money advice that you have received so far?
This is something interesting. I receive many money advice. There are some negative ones, there are some really good ones, and but I think one of these advice is to me is make a lot of sense. Money is could be just a paper, but it is what value you give to it. Yeah, so to me, this is a very good advice. Why? Because when I have that money, right, it's just a paper, but how can you use your money for? Like so for me, money actually is a very powerful tool to help people, yeah, to do more generosity, yeah, to donate to some foundations or some, you know, I used to do a lot of donation to some elderly center. Yeah, so to me, yeah, it's just a paper, but it's the value that you give to it.
Wow, that's quite deep. That's very deep. In fact, money is just a paper, but it's the value that you give to it.
That's right.
Wow. Okay, that's something to be digested. It's interesting. So okay, I realize I have this bad habit of asking another question after the last question. but so add-on question is what? So to you, how would you how do you get the most value out of the money that you have, based on the advice that you've just shared with us?
Basically, to me, how do you get most value out of it is how you spend it in a way that gives you the greatest fulfillment.
Yeah. So maybe give us one small example. How would you do it?
Right. Yeah. For me, one of the example is like when I make last time I used to trade, then I make quite a fair bit. So what I do is that I will take a portion of it and donate it. So what I do is that I will buy mooncakes, and like I will buy like maybe about 300 mooncakes itself, and to send it to the elderly center and distribute to them. Yeah. So basically, that is what I feel the value of it. You know, is not just getting the money and then you keep hoarding the money. You know, what do you do with the money for? You know, you use the money to help make other people happy. So one of the greatest value is do something that gives you the great fulfillment and make other people happy.
Wow, that's very amazing. Very, very, very amazing. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, and thank you for your time. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we end off?
Just want to say thank you for this opportunity to share with all of you, and also I hope to listen to some other speakers as well to get some of the views from them. And I want to thank Rachel for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much, Rachel.
Thank you for joining us too. Thank you, Ivan.